the mentor of mentors. Ladies and gentlemen, he's about to break you. Ambassador of Nefo, Esma.
All right, can you sit down? Sit down. No time. Sit down. I need the clicker. Clicker. Thank you. The 1% crazy. Do you really believe it? Do you really believe it? What's written on that screen? A pathway to what? A pathway to true leadership. True leadership. I want to celebrate everybody here. I want to first of all thank Ambassador Michael Okoli, the entrepreneur mentor who God bestowed the vision of this movement in his heart. And he accepted it. Because without him, we won't be here. And when I'm done, you'd understand. The focal point of why you are here. How many of us want to be financially free? Can I see your hands up? Everybody, right? Bring it down. You are not prospects. Ambassador Ronke has spoken to all of you about being obsessed. But can I ask you a question? What are you obsessed doing? What is the fundamental reason why you need to be obsessed with this business? Talk to me. Financial freedom? Financial freedom? Why must you be obsessed? Say that again. To impact the world positively. But I need someone to give me the core. I need you to express it. What? Speak to me. What's the vision? What's the vision? To what? To create financially free people who will in turn create other financially free people. That what? That will impact the world. If your obsession is out of line of what you just heard today, leave this hall. If your obsession is out of line of what you heard today, there's no need to be here, it's hot already. If you're coming from far, please, for those who don't stay in Abuja, and you are having problem with this vision, I want you to run outside to this stage now. I would hand over 100,000 naira to you to go back to where you're coming from. So that, I'm serious about it, you don't have to clap. Standing on the protocol of the G8 leaders, and of course the beautiful delegates, and the great men and women I see. Really powerful men, really powerful women, dressed accordingly. Vision is all on point. But how can we reach this vision? Can we even have a definition of brokenness? You see, this slide, this training is for me. I don't know about you. But for me to know that I've learned it, I have to teach it. Because when the purpose of the thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. If the purpose of us gathering together running this business is not known, a lot of us will abuse it, right? But where does brokenness come into the play? First of all, brokenness is... Slide is not moving? All right. Brokenness is what? A state of what? That need, let's say it together, a state of humble realization that you are a mortal being that need what? Divine assistance and help. Why do you need to be broken? Ambassador Mike, out of intense inspiration, broke down this. You see, when God wants to use a man, when God wants to fulfill an assignment, he selects a man. Am I communicating? Not necessarily the best, but he selects a man and makes him the best. Am I communicating? Now, if you fight that man, you are fighting God. Am I communicating? Now, some of you might say, why must it be him? Ask God. Because if God felt that you were eligible, he would have put you on top of Ambassador Mike, and Ambassador Mike will be under you. Am I communicating? So that brings us to the story of the matter. Why are you asking that question? Why are you asking why your leader is your leader? Your leader is younger than you, and then you ought to be the leader here. Because you're not broken yet. Let's analyze it quickly. Until you are broken, you cannot be what? Molded. There is a molding happening for a great vision. But if you are not broken, you cannot be molded. It's not possible. I will explain all of this. Stay with me. Number two is, if you're not broken, you can't rise. Except what? A corn of wheat falls to the ground and dies. It abideth alone. It can't produce. For a seed to grow, it has to first what? Die. Some of us, our greatness is still trapped within because we have refused to be broken. Our greatness is there. We know we ought to be better, but we are where we are today because we're not broken yet. You see, God is finding what? God is what? God is finding it hard to work with a lot of us because we're not broken. You see, if you're not broken, it means you're proud. If you are proud, God resists the proud. Are you understanding that? Brokenness is a state of understanding that, hey man, I'm just me. Yes, I have God's DNA in me, but I need God's assistance. I have God's DNA in me, but yet it is God's will. Yes, because I know I'm mortal. This is going to take a little bit of an emotional dimension. I've seen people struggle in this business. I keep asking myself, why are they struggling? Because they lack understanding of what they're pursuing. Some of us here, we're here hoping that one day I will drive my Ferrari, one day I will drive my Porsche, one day I will drive my... 11 years of my life I struggled. Why did I struggle? Because I felt I knew it all. And this is a fantastic explanation of this phrase. God resists the proud. Now, can I say this, please, ladies and gentlemen? Pride is not against another man. Pride is against God and yourself. You are not humble towards men. You are humble towards yourself and towards God. Am I communicating? We need to get it right first. I could come here and say I'm not proud. But inside of me, I am. But you see, the person that will deal with me is not you that I'm forming for. It's God himself that will bring me to my knees. God brought me to my knees for 11 years until, you know, when you are young and you feel you know everything, until I entered into a 3 million naira debt. I said, Father, I'm nothing, please. I'm broken. Here am I. God will deal with you if you don't deal with yourself. Look at this. because of the time I'm moving, basically summarizing what you're seeing. You can't influence anybody because you are all bottled up and you're scared of being vulnerable. So sometimes, what will people say about me? How will they take me? They hold me. I went to this school. I got this degree. How will they see me if I cower under ignorance? No, I should know this. Therefore, I bottle myself up, and God cannot use me. You see, when I begin to form that I know, it simply means I'm walking in pride. And if I'm walking in pride, it simply means that God will resist me. Am I communicating? It's going to get interesting now. Watch this. How many of us are loyal to the vision? Can I see your hands up? This is not a prospecting agenda. How many of us are loyal to the vision? How many of us are loyal to the vision? All right, if your hand is not up, my question to you is why are you not loyal to the vision? First of all, yes, you get empowered, and for others to be empowered, you have to be empowered first. But my question to you is this: why do you need to be empowered? I've established that to fulfill the vision of the house. You guys don't know where we're going to. The day God opens your eyes to know where we're going to as a team, my goodness, you will break yourself by yourself. So that God will mold you. Look, loyalty to the vision cannot come until you're broken. You can't even understand the word loyalty if you're not broken. You can't. I'm going to show you some examples here. Look, most times if you don't break yourself, then God will break you. And when God breaks you, it's truly a very painful experience. And sometimes we need to be broken by God himself. Because if you are proud here, and I'm telling you you're proud, that pride will never allow it to revolt. Am I communicating? So once you revolt, you have gone winning an argument, but you're still on the level that you're on. So the question now is, do I want to remain on this level? This topic of being broken is a very sensitive one. You're not going to be beating about the bush. You have to ask yourself the question, am I broken? Or perhaps I'm going to ask you that question. You need to identify the things that have bottled you up, that's making you feel proud. Is it your degree? What's your degree? How many of you finished with a first class? Can I see your hands up, ladies and gentlemen? You finished with a first class in school. Okay, fantastic. One person here. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fantastic. First class? Really? Awesome. My goodness. Look at you. You're looking like a first class citizen. My dear, I want you to do one quick thing. Quickly. Whose team are you in? Whose team are you in? Chinasa, right? Wonderful. Where's Chinasa? A round of applause for her for getting a first class citizen. Come on now. So what's your name, my dear? What's your name? Chinasa, please sit down, kindly. Yes? Your name? Kamsi? Wonderful, Kamsi. Yeah. Kamsi, can you bring out your phone? Bring out your phone quickly. Go to your SMS. Quickly. Go to your bank account and check the balance. Even her hand cannot go there. Do you like what you see? With first class. Am I communicating? With first class. But yet, maybe not you, but yet some of us, please can sit down. Some of us may have such accolades, and that can be a hindrance to where God wants to take us by molding us. God can't mold us when we think we are all together. We have to be broken. Because God wants to plant us. He can't plant us if we're not broken. It's not possible. We are like fragrances. I'm going to give an illustration. I might get an illustration that blew my mind. I'm going to kind of replicate it a little bit differently. But look at this. Prove that you are not yet broken. Just in case you're asking, I don't know, am I broken or not? Number one, if a training is going on like this and you're analyzing it, talk to my upline. Yes, my upline is not broken. That means you're not broken. Talk to him. Talk. She's very arrogant. She's not broken. You are not broken. Number 2, easily get angry. Not that you cannot get angry, but you easily get angry. What gets us angered is because we think we're something. Abi, do you know who I am? That's what makes me angry. Well, there's anger and there's offense as well. But anger is a justified or justifiable offense. So someone steps on your very new shoe and perhaps insults you. You see, when you're broken, I'm surprised I made it very clear. When you're broken, it's like someone who fell from a hill all the way down. And a man on the ground fears no fall. You just broke it. Hey, teach me. I don't know. Teach me. Please. Even if some of you are here, one of the persons that inspired me a lot is Mr. Uche. Mr. Uche here, if you know his pedigree, please a round of applause for him. If, these are the people that, when I see them, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. I learned from it. If you know his pedigree before he started this business, because I have seen a lot of bank tellers, bank cashiers, saying I'm a banker. Or make 30, just 30, okay, don't do 50 name lists, 30 name lists. No, I can't do that, I can't do that. I will give you the names you said. This guy has not, the last time he smelled 100,000 naira was when he was counting another person's money. And we've seen so-called bank managers who have entered our business, and he says, bank managers, they know how to talk to people because, they conduct trainings and stuff. And then one of our QSD then, when we just started, it was doing him, let me be the one to talk, let me do it. He kept on raising his hand to ask questions. I gave him the opportunity to ask a question, and he was asking the question, and he stayed too long on that question. I said, in my head, I said, God, ask your question now. I didn't know he was a bank manager until someone not told me that he's the bank manager of this bank. I said, oh, really? In my head, I said, this one don't end. Lost on arrival. I wouldn't say dead, lost on arrival. And he did not last 2 weeks in the business. This business has a way of humbling you. Have you noticed? When you think you are something, and they are calling names for people to enter, and they don't call your name, you first of all be humbled. Bank manager, and they don't call your name to enter inside this hall. It will first of all humble you. They are asking questions, asking people, you're raising your hand, they do not ask you, you take it personal. The reason is you're not broken yet. If you're not broken, you can go far. I'm going to give you a very lucid example on this. Look at this. You get offended easily as well. I'm not going to belabor on this. You just internalize it. Do I take offense easily? If you do, the next question is this: who are you? That you're taking offense. Who are you? I had this uncle that he was in Germany with my father, and he entered into the occult. Came to Nigeria and was living a relatively above average life, making money and all. But then everybody in the family knew that he's into occult. We won't mention the name of the occult. And ever since my father was alive, he kept on telling my father to come and join. But then he became a bully, somewhat of a bully. And that is pride. And God will resist you. He will teach through some people, and you don't listen to him, he will break you. My father was still alive, and this guy was really a terrorist in the family. Any idea that is brought for the family to move ahead, he would always stall it. He would always confer it. Is that you? Anything that your leader is telling you, you're always the one to resist him. You're always the one to say how this one will not work. Your leader is telling you to do this. Use the SMO checklist. I know how to do this. Do you know how many years I've worked as a medical doctor? Do you know how many people that report to me? And because of that, you don't want to follow the SMO. Don't worry, my people don't follow SMO. I'm going to use this. You're not broken yet. Let me tell you how God breaks us. In ways that we don't know. This man had, just one day, slept and woke up in a wheelchair. Stroke till today. He has given his life to Christ. He has given his life to all the deities I know. He's now a religious person, very pious. He is permanently on a wheelchair with all the occultism. He renounced everything. Now he knows God. When God breaks you, it's painful. So it's better I begin now to break myself. Am I communicating? Let me break myself now. You never agree, you are wrong. Always arguing. Why must it be like this? Why must you expose this meeting to only cell leaders? I also have some people who are not cell leaders, but they're doing well. Let them come and hear. You're not broken. And I know what your end will look like. Me, I don't want to end like that. And that is why I had to break myself. So say with me, I will break myself that I might become an impact to the world. If you're not saying this, you're not broken. And God will resist you. Remember, any man who's not broken is walking in pride. Am I communicating? Can we establish that fact? Say it. Any man that is not broken is walking in pride. And if you are walking in pride, who resists you? So if God resists you, what? If a man resists you, you can find a way. If Almighty God resists you. Now look at this. You feel bad when you are what? Corrected or reprimanded in front of people. Your leader perhaps called you out and said, you're not doing the right thing. I hope you guys are right in this. See, no matter how passionate you are, how obsessed you are, if you are not broken, you can't go far. It will be work in futility. I was speaking about Mr. Uche. Mr. Uche literally did almost everything from coordination to placements while we were in Kenya. And he didn't do it based on eye service. From his heart, you see a man that's broken. Watch out for Mr. Uche in the next, by 2024, what he will be in his scheme of affairs in Africa. It's not by, I started before him, so it's not by who started first. It's about who God has looked into. This man is broken enough. This woman is broken enough. I bring you forth. That's how God works. I bring you forth. It's not eye service. No, guys, it's not. This is how you know whether you're broken or not. If you take offense, if you feel bad, if someone is correcting you, come on now. You know you're broken. Now, please, there's no other way I can say this. If you are not broken, you stand the chance of remaining on the level for too long. And everybody will pass you by. Somebody insults you, you feel bad. They insulted you, they didn't touch you. They said a word, reject the word and continue going. Why are you feeling bad? Who are you? Are you, even if you are the king? Now my relative that I said that had stroke eventually, today he's bedridden. He's always looking for pity. Unfortunately, nobody, only his wife is by his side. Family members are not coming close to him. Even though he said he has changed, but what he did in the past that I don't have the time to explain is rubbing off on him. What's this? At this point, having ego. Everybody has ego, especially men, but it needs to be on check. Your leader tells you to do something and you think you know better. These are broken down scenarios. We're going to have this meeting in Top Rank. Why didn't they use Hilton? You're not broken yet. And brokenness is not to show off. Brokenness is not eye service. Brokenness is not to say that I'm humble or I'm meek. Remember what I told you. Humility is unto who? And 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 humility is unto who? So this that you're not talking back, it means you're not broken, you're proud. Stand up, madam. This is a critical example. Madam, stand up. If you knew you weren't speaking when I was speaking, stand up. That is the beginning of you being broken. When you acknowledge that you missed it. Men and women standing. If I was speaking upstage and you didn't respond, stand up quickly. If I was speaking upstage, and you were not responding, stand up. Put your hand on your chest. Close your eyes. Say, today I break myself. Those who are sitting beside them and you're looking at them, you're not broken. It's pride. You ought to have put your own hand on your chest and repeat with me. Today, I break myself that I might become an impact in life. A round of applause for them. And you. Now, let me give you this illustration. Do we have sound on that system? Do we have sound? Right? I'm going to break down the keys to be broken quickly. Deal with pride. It has to be dealt with. Pride. And pride is one of the things that God detests. That's how God sees Lucifer. So when God sees pride, he sees Lucifer. He resists you. Am I communicating? I don't have time to go into that. Now look at this. Number two. Number two is, you can write this out, it will help you. I'm not speaking to you as I'm talking, I'm speaking to myself because I want to go far. I want God to use me. Understand that you are not God, that you are not indispensable. Just know it. You could drop dead today. A car can hit you, boom, render you incapacitated. Who am I? Damn, Vision King. Oh, those was my name. Vision King. King for mouth. Outside La Bonavida, where you king reach? My friend, bring down your shoulders. You're doing Vision King, Vision King. Number three is understand that there is nothing you have that has not been given to you. And shame will follow those who refuse to deal with pride. Shame will follow those who refuse to break themselves. Because you begin to see people that you came before, all of them are passing you. And what's happening? God is resisting you. Simple. Nothing more than less. So I'm going to show you a quick video on how to harmonize our brokenness. Why must we be broken as a unit? You're not being broken for yourself. I'm going to show you why. Now watch this video, just 4 minutes. I hope it plays. Because when you are broken, you can influence people. And that is the hallmark of our business. Our leadership is through influence and not by force. So this means that a leader leads by influence. Do not engage in a forced influence. And listen to this. Use influence to build loyalty. So for instance, you want your downline to do something. You have to come politely. You have to show your downline that it's done. You are giving questionnaire. You have to first of all go and give questionnaires and show them how it's done. You don't tell them to go and give 100 questionnaires in a day. They've not seen you do that. You see, when you do it, you're influencing them. But you can't do it if you're not broken. Am I communicating? If you're too proud, you can't step out under the sun and give the questionnaires. You can't expect people to do what they have not seen you do. Influence, most often than not, goes by example. People see you do it and they do it. That's the fastest way to influence people. And you know, this is a people business. So if you are the type that expects somebody to do what you have said, you're not broken yet. Do you know there's some leaders here, they don't say, but you begin to do. Am I right or wrong? So there's some of your leaders, they don't say anything, but before they even say it, you do. Because you know this is an example of someone you want to be like, someone you want to model, because the person is doing it. Not to impress anybody, because that's the way it should be done. As I begin to close, watch this video. It's 4 minutes, no sound, please. All right. Pay attention, please.
Creating a fragrance.
It's just 4 minutes.
It's pre-meditated.
But let me explain. I love perfume. So when Ambassador Mike used perfume to give this illustration, it was profound for me. But I want you to see something. I want you to catch something. Pay attention. Rapt attention to this. Just 4 minutes. And you'd understand why all of us need to be broken.
Creating a fragrance is like creating anything. It's premeditated. We start with an idea. Whether it's a dish you're going to cook in the kitchen or whether it's a painting that you're going to paint, before you start, you have to know what you're going to do. A perfumer knows whether he's going to create or she's going to create for women or for men, and whether it's going to be a fragrance which is more a day fragrance, which is fresh and light, or whether it's going to be more of an evening fragrance, which is maybe going to be more sensual, or soft and powdery.
The creation of a perfume, you have to make up a formula, which is, you could compare more or less to a cooking recipe, but very precise and elaborate with many, many ingredients. The very first act of creation is hard to describe, but I think that it starts with a little nothing, like a click, which probably defines the soul of a fragrance.
With technology, there are always advancements, and whether it's extracting natural products using new techniques, or whether it's discovering new molecules that don't exist in nature, we're always receiving new ideas. I don't believe that new ideas are necessary to create a brand new fragrance. It's a bit like, if I may make the association with the inkjet printer, which has only 4 cartridges, and yet can make 16 million colors. It's quite enough, the palette we already have of traditional ingredients, to create many new ideas. So we're going to choose our jasmine, our rose, maybe tuberose for a white floral note. We're going to want some freshness, so we're going to choose to have mandarin or lemon, for example. And we make a note of all these ingredients. And then we start to get a picture and start dosing the main ingredients.
Perfume is a craft where the technical and the emotional side are very tied together. The very beginning of a creation is probably more tied to the emotion, which gives probably the spirit of the whole fragrance. But then very early in the creation process, there is a technical side to it. The best result is when the technical side is not visible.
We're almost done. Pay attention.
The rose is the morning dew. It's a fresh floral fragrance.
That's the rose.
It's very feminine. There is the jasmine, which is a wonderful fragrance.
You have jasmine,
which smells divine in the middle of the night, which is picked in the morning because it smells perfect in the morning. It has a sensuality about it. It's a very sensual fragrance.
Very sensual. Ooh la la.
Orange blossom. Orange blossom. It's
orange,
almost associated with the sun. It's fresh. It's a white flower, but at the same time, it smells of oranges and lemons, and it has a wonderful freshness, associated also with cologne fragrances, for example, in the form of neroli, which is the oil of orange blossom. The tuberose, magnificent flower.
Tuberose.
And not an innocent smell at all. A fragrance that can be smelled from a long way away. It has a great trail, almost narcotic. It smells sensual like the jasmine, but has an edge which is biting. And at the same time, you can be fooled easily because it has a little pina colada type coconut cocktail about it.
Excuse me. All of these ingredients have their own power. The rose, the jasmine, the oud, right? How many of you have seen this fragrance before? Can I see your hands up? How much do you see there for this fragrance? How much do you see there? Over 200,000 naira. Perfume. It is oud for greatness. I have one bottle. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, for this to come together. There were plenty breakings of individual powerful flowers and components. There were breakings for this to amount to 200,000 naira. If you don't know this, look at this. You have the saffron, you have the agarwood, you have the patchouli, you have the amber, you have the what? You have the oud, you have the lavender, you have the musk, you have the nutmeg. Ladies and gentlemen, haven't you perceived that perfume they call Arabian perfume is too ugly and harsh? Have you not? Yes. You see, when you perform alone, you become too brash. But when you want something powerfully amazing, if you perceive this, is killing. But it's not just one component. Some of you here are roses. Some of you here are jasmines. Some of you here are agarwood, nutmegs. Some of you here are the ouds. But what the vision requires is that through the leadership, we are all broken. Can I ask you a question? Do you see this inside the perfume? What happens? It will be crushed. It will be broken. That is why you and I need to be broken. That we might be blended in a bottle, and then we can be sold to the world. 200 billion. That is the essence of being broken. But can I ask you a question? This is musk. It's part of the ingredient. Some of you here are musk. But guess what? If this musk refuses to be broken, this musk will not form part of this formulation. And by itself, can you buy the musk for 200K? No, sir. By yourself, by myself, I cannot be where I am today in this organization. Like in network marketing. No, by myself. But because I said, okay, do you know what? I have to be broken. I mean, he said he has to be broken. Dr. Ba said, I have to be broken. Who you call the poverty destroyer destroyed himself first. Because he was in poverty before Nigeria entered recession. You've seen that video, huh? Dr. Victor decided to break himself. Dr. Mba decided to break himself. Ambassador Vincent, break himself. Dr. Mba, break himself. You look at it, Ronke, as young as she was then, decided to break herself. You have to be in that place of brokenness for God to raise you up. When in Shalom Plaza, people will be walking around. I see young girls from 6:35. By 6 o'clock, they are there gisting. I will look down the window, I see a lot of them. All of them shawarma girls. But I'll never see Ronke. I'll never see Didi. And guess what? By 9, when I'm done, I'm getting downstairs. Who am I seeing in suit 8? It is Ronke and Didi with papers like this. I said, guys, what are you doing? Do you know what they're doing? They are still making calls by 9 o'clock in the night. Tia called me and said, this girl cannot marry you. Please help me talk to Mike. These people cannot marry. The obsession mixed with brokenness. Now she is on a higher table that men cannot sit. Am I communicating? Oh. See, forget about the club. If you are there and you enter into that mysterious realm of breaking yourself completely, God will take you up. And taking you up is not just for yourself. No, Sanoma. It is to make a perfect blend of that fragrance that will exude to the world, and that there might be an impact while we are alive. Ladies and gentlemen, let me shock you. Alone we can't do it, but together we can. But together, for us to do it, we have to be what? Alone we can't. But when we come together, we have to be what? When we are broken, our sweet smelling savour deposited there by God himself will come out. And then we blend ourselves. Come on now, you may not have the energy I have. You may not be as astute as Ambassador Ronke is. You may not be as visionary as Ambassador Mike is. But you have your own component. You have your own scent. You have your own power. But that power comes out when you are what? Broken. My word for you, ladies and gentlemen, don't wait for God to break you. Your brokenness doesn't stem from the place of righteousness. No, sir. Your brokenness comes from acknowledging the fact that you have a God who can actually mold you. So you are breaking to say that, Father, I die that you might live. Father, I break that you might use me to be an impact to the world. You see, you begin to look at others as against yourself. Is it easy? No. But when you come out and your work in the marketplace comes out, you understand that men will seek after you. And that is why in this fragrance, they are now looking at the components. What are the components that make this? We know it's not only rose. We know it's not only oud. So they look at you. What are the components of La Buena Vida? They know that is why they cannot replicate what you are doing. Am I communicating? I see broken men and women here. Those who will be broken by purpose and not by coercion. Your brokenness is by purpose. And I'll leave you with this video. Watch this and have a great understanding. Because when Mike gave this training, I was in the room ruminating and thinking about it. And the video popped out. It was an advert of the new movie, Black Panther. And I saw something that struck me in the beginning of that trailer. I'm going to show it to you now. Watch this. Watch. Listen, listen. You may not see it. It's written. Increase the volume. Only the most broken people
can be great leaders.
Can be great leaders. Only the most broken people. Only the most broken people. Only the most broken people can become great leaders. Rise up on your feet and declare, I break that I might become an impact to my world. God bless you. All right, hold on. How many of you saw that fall? How many of you saw that fall? So I accept that I'm broken, amen? So you have to be broken. That is how painful it can be. Broken in front of everybody. It doesn't matter. Perhaps that's what God designed so that I will impact this, because sometimes we go and listen and we go home and we say the same thing. I will shock you. This wasn't part of what I wanted to say. But I'm going to say this. No, it's okay. Leave this thing, okay, so that another person will not be broken. Let me break for others. You won't believe it, that after the training in Kenya, there was an issue that happened. And this issue was amongst two leaders. And I was wondering, but they sat through the training. I saw them. They were writing. Like most of us are writing. Am I communicating? But they were having issues. And that issue, I won't want to go into it. I knew they were not broken. And that is why. Perhaps what happened is for me to reiterate this. If you are sitting down and you are writing does not translate to understanding. I hope I'm correct. And this is how God can break us in the presence of equal manner. Amen? So if you don't want God to break you, internalize what you've heard and begin to work on it every single word. Every single, you are not broken once. You are broken. I'm not broken once, I'm broken daily. It is a conscious effort. And the reason is this. There should not be a what? Weak link. Someone say weak link. And those of us who are not broken, the devil will use us as weak links to foster a division that full fragrance will not come out. Am I communicating? So now, before you sleep, you sit down, don't clap.